Well, let's start rolling right into this. Maybe in like not a creepy way.
Yeah, I'll do it with my wife in the room. You could be eating a box of Eggos every single day.
With maple syrup and bacon. Roll out of bed. I just comb my beard, brush my teeth.
I don't even do half of that. Kissing babies and signing checks.
Oh, writing checks.
Breaking necks. Breaking necks. Okay, bro.
Yeah, go down, bro.
You want to just start over again?
Let's do it all.
Okay.
Welcome to the PM&A podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the PM&A podcast.
What is going on?
Guys, what is going on? Exactly. So, as you know, this episode is brought to you by Wavemaker Brewery out of Cambridge, Ontario. They are located on 639 Laurel Street in Cambridge, Ontario. So guys, they're awesome. They make really good craft beer. They're a craft brewery, but also a distillery. But guys, they are amazing. They're from Cambridge. They're awesome dudes, and they make amazing beer. You can hit them up on their online store. You can check out what kind of beer they have. In the upcoming weeks, they're going to have their Punch, their Double IPA, the Raspberry Blonde Ale, the Legendary Powers Dry Hopped Kettle Sour, and their Oath Session Stout. It is phenomenal. They make amazing beer. Scott and all his crew, they work together. They're working hard. And they're also working hard through this COVID-19 stuff. They have an online store where you can order local delivery. They'll bring it to your house. I think it's like $10 more or something.
But not just local though, right? Like they'll ship all over.
So if you're not locally, they will deliver Ontario wide. It can come to your house. So if you're listening to this podcast way up north in Ottawa or something, you can order some beer. It can get shipped to your house. It's awesome. They're also, because of the COVID-19 stuff, the tap room is unfortunately closed, but you can do curbside pickup. And you can also do storefront pickup where you can go in, see what's in the fridge, say what's up, and buy some awesome local beer from a local brewery. That's what's up.
And make sure when you order the beer too that you send them a little shout out and say, hey, heard you from the PM&A podcast. Let them know we sent you. And
yeah. That'd be awesome. We'd appreciate it.
We like to hear from them, and we're in close contact with them. Good group of guys. So
we would love to hear feedback, and they would love to hear feedback that you've heard us on the podcast. Because who's not listening to the PM&A podcast?
Right. Right.
Okay, ready? What's up?
So, Jeremy, did you know that they've changed some things during this COVID thing?
No, they didn't.
Yes,
Nothing.
they did. 14 minus 5 is actually now 13. Did you know that? Doesn't make sense, does it? But do you know what does make sense? Is heading down to the Bearded Lumberjack and head down to his Instagram account.
Why is it down? Why are we heading down? Why are we
You can head up. You
Let's
can head sideways. You could head lateral.
Let's head all the ways.
Head your way online.
Yep.
And head your way to the Instagram of the Bearded Lumberjack. Head down to his website and his Instagram account and get yourself some beard oil and some lip balm. Now, he's got the right now he's restocked. He has the tobacco leather, the Cuban cognac, old fashioned. He's got a whole whack of different type of beard oil.
Sweet.
This guy is amazing at his craft. Go check him out. Send him some love. Tell him that you send him some information about what you want to see. Let's see. I was amazed to hear that he had bacon lip balm. Like,
Yep.
come on.
Yep.
For right now, he's running a promotion for Father's Day. You can get 20% off if you use a promo code #DAD2020. That is #DAD2020. And get yourself 20% off. I think it's store-wide. He ships all over the place. He'll ship to Timbuktu or Timbuk3, wherever you are.
Up and down.
Timbuk sideways and forwards.
Head on up and down.
But head down there, get yourself some beard product, and again, to let him know that we sent you down there. He'll send you some love, and get yourself some beard oil and fix your beard.
Awesome. Hey guys, so Jacob Marsh, the owner-operator from the Bearded Lumberjack Beard Company, is hanging out. We're chilling. What's up, Jacob? How's it going, man?
Not too bad. How about you guys?
You know what?
Not too bad.
It's been a
Not
great
too
day
bad.
for me. I don't know about Ernie, but I'm having a great day.
Hang on just one sec.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
I already opened mine. I've already opened mine.
Oh, mine's open too.
What
but
do you got? Let's talk about what we're drinking here, fellas. What are you drinking, Ernie?
I think we got the same thing.
No.
I think Jacob and I both got some Legendary Powers. I think.
You guys are both
that's what
rocking
I've got going too.
the Wavemaker Legendary Powers. Oh, rad.
Sour.
So I'm trying out this evening.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, boys. I'm trying out the new Cambridge Hardwater Brewing malt water.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I'm trying that
Did
out.
you get that? Did you get that Facebook ad, Jacob?
Yeah. And I said I was interested.
Yeah.
And then my brother went and said he waited for 2 hours. And I'm like,
I was just so wait to hear this.
So here's the story that I did. So I was like stoked to hear about this like water thing. So I talked about it with my wife. I had to do some work and some classes today, and so we drove down at 4:00. We waited for an hour, and we planned to be waiting. So another buddy of mine, Ernie and I, Neville, he was waiting in the line. He said he waited an hour, and so I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll put on a podcast. We'll just sit in the car. We'll wait. So we're waiting about an hour. And then it's pretty, like, people are getting mad, and they're, like, driving around and, like, getting out of the line, and they're just kind of getting pissed. So we noticed that the line starts getting faster. And I was even sitting there, we were mentioning, I'm like, I wonder if the cop's going to get pissed off. Because just so you know, it shut down all of Galt. If you were driving downtown Galt around, like, 2:33 till about 5 o'clock p.m. on this Friday afternoon of, whatever day it is. It was shut down. Like, you weren't going anywhere. You were just sitting there.
15.
So people are pissed. They're driving around. They're totally like getting out of the line, trying to find their way home and stuff. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I bet you the cops are gonna be pissed. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. So all of a sudden the cars start moving, and I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna move up further up the line. Little do I know, around the corner, 6 cop cars. They're pointing directions. He's like, if you don't live down here, it's done. This isn't happening today. So they shut down because seriously, like it was you know where they filmed Handmaid's Tale downtown Galt.
Mm-hmm.
So the lineup was way past that, like way past the over by Water Street, it was bad. So the cops shut it down, and so I've been texting the owners or the person who's in charge of the Instagram, trying to work my way in there and get a little wheel and deal for the podcast. And so I'm like, so what's going on, man? I'm like, I waited in line for an hour. You guys back up? He's like, yeah, we're back up. Come back. So I drove back up. And I went in through the line in about maybe like 20 minutes. I was in, got my free 6-pack of the hard water, and they also snuck in. They didn't say this though, but they're also a brewery. They're making beer too. So
See, I noticed the name was Hardwater Brewery, but they were talking about actual water. I'm like, okay, that's not beer. So now I'm really confused.
So they're promoting the water, but they're actually the name of their company is the Foundry Brewing. Brewing Foundry. I'll look at the Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Foundry Brewing is the name of the beer brewery, but they're also brewing this hard water. So they're promoting the water, but they're not promoting their beer really. And their beer is pretty good. So they with the 6-pack, the free 6-pack, they give you a free lager and a stout. So I haven't tried the stout yet.
Is it a light beer, Jared?
The lager's a light beer. Yeah, it's a good beer. But I'm glad that we're all enjoying some local brews. I think that's pretty rad.
Yeah,
I think this is we've talked about this in the podcast. It's a cool time to have some local brews, and we're stoked to have Wavemaker as one of our sponsors. So that's pretty rad too, man.
Yeah,
So-
I was actually listening to your Wavemaker interview, and that was
Sweet.
what made me go, I need to go back. I went last summer once, and I'm like, no, I gotta go try it again. So I finally went yesterday.
Yeah, they're putting out some bangers. So man,
Did you grab the raspberry too?
I did. I grabbed 2 of that.
Oh, so good.
I haven't tried it out yet. I haven't tried out the raspberry.
Had it
good.
last
I'm
night. It was
about
tasty.
to. Maybe tomorrow I'll try it out. So you're the owner operator of the Bearded Lumberjack, man. So you're making beard oil. You're making beard cream.
Yeah. So beard oil, beard balm, those are the main beard products, I guess. I have messed around with a beard conditioner. I've got a couple Loyals, and there's one guy who really wanted something for a preheat type of thing. So it was a little less. I do a pretty big blend on my oils, so this one's a little bit more focused, so that it didn't have quite as much to it. It was more so just to moisturize it before he ran the hair or the beard straightener through it. So I'm still messing around with a few things. I did beard shampoo recently, and then I've done a few non-beard things too. Lip balms. I messed around with tattoo butter for a little while. I've got a bad habit of coming up with ideas and trying them out, but I don't always fully follow through and put them out there for everybody.
Yeah. That's cool though, man. So
Trying to see what stick.
how long have you been doing this for? How long you been I guess I don't know how long your company's been around, but like how long you've been interested in making like beard stuff?
So I kind of got to start, I guess, 2015,
Mhm.
and I still haven't like skyrocketed by any means. But the way it kind of started is I had set out and decided I was going to hide the baby face, and I was going to grow out a year, go for the full year.
Do it. Yep.
And Christmas that year, I told my wife I wanted some beard care, and she went to Tommy Guns in Fairview.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she picked up some stuff. A bigger company, won't bother naming names, but a bigger company.
Mhm.
And I tried it out, and for the first little while, like it was a shampoo and a conditioner, and the conditioner was kind of like more like a wax, but they called it conditioner.
Mhm.
And I hated it. Like I was good with it for like a month, and then I just hated it. It smelled weird. I didn't like how my beard felt, and I kept toying with the idea of trying it for myself. And then I was let go from the retail job I was working at the time,
Mhm.
and I decided like that was my time to start. So I decided to put some money into it, mess around, starting really small, still keeping it fairly small.
Mhm.
But a few weeks ago, I finally decided to launch a legitimate website, and
Oh man, that's awesome.
yeah. So it's been a little while. I go through a lot of progressions. Like I should say, I go through a lot of phases.
Mhm.
Took a break because I got married, so I'm like, I just don't have the time right
It's
now. So I
important.
took like
Yeah.
6 months or whatever off, and I didn't do anything. And then
That's no excuse. She plans it all. What are you talking about?
and then I've got a 1-year-old now, so I took again
Oh,
like
geez.
6 months or whatever off for that. And like once he got a little bit older, so within the last probably 5 or 6 months, because he'll be 17 months on the 25th. So right around the time he turned a year, I was like, I really want to, start pushing again, getting into the beard stuff. And of course, I picked 2020 as the year to really get my shit together. And great choice.
No,
but,
man, I think for a beard company, people are hanging out at home, like they're trying to that maybe like they're figuring out what smells good. I don't find this is like a because you don't have like a storefront. You just do online purchases, right?
yeah, like around Christmas, I did pretty much everything across social media. I didn't have a website. I didn't have an Etsy. I still did pretty good. I convinced my work. So I work at a real estate software company here in Cambridge. I convinced them to let me put together a little Christmas market in the basement of the office building. So I ran a little market and sold some stuff there just before Christmas too. But otherwise, everything I did was through social media. And then
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, I'm like, no, I need a website. I need to crack down.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about social media. Look what a free 6-pack did to Galt,
It shut down Galt.
right?
True.
Was it on the radio though too?
I have no idea. I don't listen to the radio,
But
so I
like
can tell you.
what we were talking about that on the last, well, we've had a couple of people on where we've asked them like how social media has impacted like business or their business and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see that you've grown it just straight out of media, straight out of like social media. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't even tend to promote my posts. I think I've done it once and it didn't do much for me. So I just try and hashtag the right hashtags and like a few posts and see if somebody finds me.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you did try that, like that Facebook and that Instagram promotion thing that you pay
I
like
haven't
$5
tried
or
it on
$20?
Instagram. I did on Facebook. I think I only did like $10 and I got like
That's
one
hilarious.
extra like.
We've had like 4 people say the exact same thing where they're like they paid the $20 and it was like farting in the wind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't really doing a whole lot.
No, so
Because
So
it's hard to direct that, right? Because it's not really going to be like it's hard to say where you want it may not be the target audience that they send it to, right?
yeah, you don't really. I think you can put in some like key demographics and everything. It's been a little while, but I don't know. It was not hitting the right people apparently because I think I got one Facebook like and that was it.
Wow.
So you were saying before the reason you got into making the beard product because you felt like the product that was out there wasn't up to the par that you thought that it is. I'd be interested to hear. So have you got a lot of feedback based off of the product that you have been putting out?
Yeah, I've got some like die hard loyals, and there's one guy. I don't have like an official ambassador because I'm not like that
Yeah.
big at this point, I wouldn't say. But he's the closest thing I have to an ambassador. And he's like my go-to guy to be like, what'd you think of the last oils? Like he tried some new fragrances, he's tried some different like weights of the oils and everything. And he's kind of been my go-to to be like, what did you like or what didn't you like about it?
Yeah,
I obviously I use my wife to find out fragrances. Some she doesn't like and I still love, so it doesn't matter.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That is
Yep.
genius.
Yep.
Because if the wife is like, this smells like you've been rolling around in dirt for the last half hour, like you that is genius. That's genius. So, are you doing all the product making at home? Do you have like a little shop? You have a little setup? What are you doing?
So pretty much everything is actually just below where I'm sitting right now. I have a cardboard box with all my oils, both fragrance, essential, and then all my carrier vegetable oils. Mix my beard oil mix into a larger bottle, and then I just kind of make it from that. I normally make about 16 bottles at a time, and as I sell through that, I make my next batch and things like that.
So what fragrances do you have right now?
So right now, I think this was part of my problem for a long time. For a long time, I focused on having a huge variety in fragrances. Like at one point, I had more than 20 fragrances available. So I finally narrowed down into 5 that I'm focusing on. So I've got Cubans and Cognac, Tobacco and Leather, Sandalwood, Camping, and Old Fashioned.
All right.
Yeah, I saw the camping one and the old fashioned one, and I was going to reach out there. I think Wheel and I have been chatting for a little bit. I'm like, I think I need to try those.
Yeah, the Camping one is the only earthy one I've really stuck with because I know some people really love their earthy fragrances. I don't mind them, but it's never been like my favorite. I'm a sucker for like the sweet ones, the ones that smell like food, kind of the cologne ones and everything like that.
See, I worry about that because my beard tends to smell like food a lot, so I'm like, I don't know if I need to add to it.
Cheeseburgers,
Yeah, ketchup,
mustard.
One of my favorites that I did around Christmas, and I kind of want to bring back, but I need to get one of the oils back, was caramel bourbon. And that I still have a little bit of that one left, so I try and savor it. But like Cubans and Cognac. Yeah, Cubans and Cognac and Sandalwood are by far my most popular too.
All right. So, so you say you make them in small batches, 16 bottles, and then it kind of goes as per order. So, did you were saying so I saw you put out some apparel, or are you putting out some apparel like shirts and stuff and that kind of thing? And that's all online. Do you have an Etsy, did you say, as well?
I had an Etsy. It's still functioning, but it's not. There's nothing live on there.
Yeah.
At this point, I think I might toss my website on it in case people stumble across it and they get redirected to my actual website.
Yeah.
But I finally got like it's a big cartel, but I ended up buying the domain as well. So I just have like the beardedlumberjack.com. Just makes things easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have Etsy. I'm big on apparel. So back in college, I briefly had a clothing brand called Inspired Clothing. And like even in high school, I always knew that I wanted to kind of have my own business. And back then I was like, I want to own a store and sell band merch. That's what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever checked out Catacombs in Kitchener. I think they have
No, I've never checked it out. No.
But yeah, like their store's gone now. But it was kind of like Rock Universe and whatnot. It was a band merch store, and I wanted to do something like that. And then it kind of just progressed to me just being interested in apparel. So I had a clothing brand company that didn't do so well. So now with the beard care company and doing a little bit better there, I've started to drift into a few shirts. I've only done 2 now. And then I'm looking at doing hats currently, hoodies. I love designing apparel, and I'm a sucker for buying clothes. Like I also listened to your one with Indestructible.
Yeah.
And that one was so cool. I was so into what they were saying and everything.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to do more apparel, but it's so expensive. That's my thing. That's my whole
And the other thing too with apparel too, like it's all well and good to be putting out like a million shirts, But if it feels like wearing sandpaper, you're not
Yeah.
gonna sell. You'll sell one shirt, and then it'll be like, "Don't put this thing on. It rubbed my nipple raw." Like you just, like don't wear this hat. It fell apart and it lit on fire and gave me corona.
Yeah, yeah. And the interesting thing about even giving the example of Indestructible, they only put out a certain limited amount, and that promotes people to buy. Like I bought a lot of their stuff, and just out of the point going, it's a limited edition. They're not going to make a lot of the same shirts. They're not going to make a lot of them. They're not going to make like 30,000 shirts and you see everybody walking around with it. That's why I like that brand, is because it's limited. And I know if I buy it, I'm not going to see it. And if I do see it, I'm like stoked because I'm like, yo, man, nice shirt. Like it's almost like a small hood. So it's that fine line between you want to make some money, but you also want to sell product. But you also don't want to make too much product that's not going to sell. So you got to it's like a fine line. You know what I mean?
See, the too much product that I'm not going to sell was my problem with Inspired Clothing.
Yeah.
I went way too big, and I still have stuff left from that.
Yeah.
But with the Bearded Lumberjack, the shirts and everything I made, I think the most I've done is 25. And most of them I do as a pre-order. So like I run a pre-order, make sure everybody gets the size they want. That helps me front a lot of the cost. And then I order a few on top of that. I think I'm down to 5 or so, maybe 8 of the bear shirt that I did last time. And then once those are gone, I'm just going to move on to something else.
That's cool, man.
I like that new hat logo you got.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really hoping to get that done soon. Thanks for the leaf suggestion.
Some annoying guy sent you it on his break.
Ernie, you're in the dark here. Are you gonna get yourself a light so we can kind of see what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do here because I'm just going to.
You know what? Yeah. Once in a while, you can just shine your light. Some people that aren't watching the video, well, we're recording a video, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't,
I look like Gandalf.
If it doesn't, yeah, Gandalf the White after he comes out of his battle with Elbron. What is it called? What is he?
Flashing my eyes.
What does he fight? The
Elder Wand?
The Balrog.
The Elder Wand.
Elder Wand. 2 different movies, you idiot. So, Ernie's phone's still on again. Doing a podcast.
Sorry, hit the wrong button.
So it's interesting. I don't know how long you've been growing a beard. You were saying you were hiding your baby face. I also have a huge baby face, but I've been growing a beard. I don't know. I'm gonna date myself. I've probably been growing a beard since 2004, 2005. Been always growing facial hair for a long time, and then it kind of like peaked. It was like boom, like people were just like beards were a thing. People were watching Sons of Anarchy, dudes with beards, like beards were all over the place. But like I've always grown a beard, and then they're like but then there's like a side of media that's like, oh, beards are gross, or just if you grow a beard, there's a lot of feces in beard. So they try to push an agenda sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've always talked to Ernie about that, and like before the podcast, the Instagram was actually the KW Facial Hair Club. I don't know if you were on Instagram and you saw that ever.
I totally followed you guys on my other Instagram account.
Yeah. So I ran that. So that was what we ran before the podcast, and then I wanted to turn it into something and amalgamate all the cool people that were already following that into the same kind of like genre of thinking and humor and stuff like that, and put it into the podcast. So not to kind of like say like, I was done with that facial hair club, but I was doing it because I thought, I wanted to start my own facial hair club because it was so cool. But I'm not. Mm-hmm. It's not a dying thing anymore. Would you agree? Like having beards and stuff.
Beards are everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a beard.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like the whole like beards are bad for you. I remember at the beginning of the whole COVID-19 thing, there were so many posts going around about how CDC warns how having a beard is hazardous to your health and everything.
Yep.
I remember seeing that and thinking like, well, no, if anything, a beard is like a natural filter. Like if anything, the only advantage to shaving your beard is if you're going to wear like a proper fitted mask.
Yeah, you have to be fitted.
Because obviously, if you have a beard, obviously it's not going to stick to your face properly, right? Mm-hmm. But otherwise, like your mustache, like it acts as a filter. It reduces allergens, bacteria, all that stuff getting into your mouth and your nose. It reduces that. So if anything, it has its benefits. It might maybe not be so good for, your significant other you're kissing later. They're then receiving some of that bacteria possibly.
Hey, if she
So if
already
you're
has one,
washing-
then it's no problem.
Yeah, man, you're spreading the love, bro.
2020.
But like, as long as you're, washing your beard and everything, like it's not bad for your health. And I hated that and
Yeah, it's
tried not to get too defensive on it. But
What
Oh,
the
shit.
hell? Oh,
Ernie's
Shots
got-
fired.
Larry,
Shots fired.
Ernie's it's sitting outside.
Sorry, guys. I'm outside.
So this is hilarious. Ernie's sitting outside with a podcast, and now he's listening to fireworks. Awesome.
forgot it was May 2-4 weekend there for a second until the fireworks went off.
Do people shoot off fireworks for May 2-4?
I don't know. I live at the top of Shant's Hill. People are always shooting off fireworks. So
Yeah. So you grew up on the top of Shant's Hill, or are you from the top of Shant's Hill?
So my parents' first place
Yeah.
when I was born was up on Shant's Hill, just over on Hillview.
Okay.
And then I currently live up there too.
Mhm.
I'm on Parkview. I'm one street over from where my parents lived when I was born. But yeah, I've been living up here for about 3 years now.
Parkview. Where?
I'm right, like the crescent is right across from the school.
Oh, okay. I hear you. Yeah. That's cool, man. Man, I went to. Oh my God, Ernie.
Sorry, guys.
He's having the podcast outside. There's friggin' fireworks. What's your luck? So Ernie and I grew up on the same area, man. We grew up in the same area. Like literally, like we grew up on top of Shant's Hill.
Right
Yeah,
on top
I
of
was-
the hill, yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to the Wavemaker one, and as soon as I heard that, I just sent Ernie a message. I'm like, which of you guys live on Shant's Hill?
So
I
we-
misheard it thinking you guys still did.
No, yeah.
Like- We're neighbors.
Yeah, my mom. That's where my mom. Like my parents have owned that house forever. Like they've always had that house. As oh my God, this is hilarious.
Shit, sorry, guys.
Anyway, it sounded like we kind of like we're all kind of been in the same area. I'm surprised we haven't run into before. We haven't run into each other.
Yeah, like when I started to come across you guys on Instagram and everything, I'm like, you guys look familiar, but I
Yeah.
spent a long time working in retail.
Where'd you
So
work?
if either of you, I was gonna say, if either of you ever shopped in Hot Topic in the last like 4 or 5 years
Hot
ago,
Topic?
What's a
Hot Topic? Hot Topic in Fairview. It started out as like a big band merch store and everything like that, kind of metal goth. Now it's very much so pop culture and everything.
Hmm.
Before that, I worked at Journeys, also in Fairview, the shoe store.
Okay, man, dude, I've bought shoes there before. I'm sure I've like ran into you there. I probably even complimented your beard.
Actually, it was when I was at Journeys that I started growing out the beard, and it was after that job that I started the beard care company. And
That's
then,
quite the journey, then.
yeah.
Man, Ernie, you're freaking jerk.
And before
Sorry,
that,
shots
I
fired.
worked at both Cambridge and Fairview HMV for a little while.
Yeah, before she shut down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's hilarious. Like I'm sure we've run into each other in some way or fashion.
Yeah,
So-
if it was at HMV, I definitely had a baby face, so totally
Oh,
different.
That makes sense. I hear you.
Oh, for God's sake.
Actually, it's not that loud, really. It just kind of sounds like you're opening cans of pop. To me, anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
description.
I'm covering the mic.
Ernie, are you in some sort of a war zone? Can you tell us what's going on there?
Yeah. Hey, Jer. Down here in Bolivia, we seems that the fighting has escalated quite quickly in this area.
I've heard that there's going to
The
the
enemy
LA
rebels have advanced on our position, and I don't know how long I'm safe here.
Ernie has a long-lasting career for CNN as a
I'm fearing
journalist
for my
reporter.
life at this moment. I would just like to say I love my kids.
As a journalist reporter overseas.
We
we hope you're safe.
HMM.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, man.
Please keep me in your thoughts and prayers.
Oh my gosh. So, why did you want to name it the Bearded Lumberjack? That's a great name for a beard company, but like, why were you like, okay, you were coming up with names and that one just like stuck?
Pretty much. I tossed up a few, and honestly, I probably couldn't remember the majority of them. I was really set on the whole lumberjack thing, and I think it's because I'm a cliche Canadian who wears way too much plaid.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry, man.
And I I get a lot of lumberjack comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
So the lumberjack thing always kind of stuck. I tossed around Lumberjack Cosmetics Company because I was thinking more than just beard care, and then the Bearded Lumberjack, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick with that. And I've gone through like 15 logos. Like, started drawing up
logos are fine. You just want to make sure you get a name. Like I have like we've debated, like we were saying to Jared, like I really really love our logo right now, but like, you know, maybe later down the road we switch it up a little bit. As long as you're sticking with the same name for branding, a logo's not the end of the world, right? Like we've changed logos like 3 times now. It used to be one that I made with a Canada flag with the hand. And then I did one that I made with
thumbs up, right?
Yeah, the thumbs up with the Canada flag on the arm. And then I did one that kind of looks like our logo now, kind of with the mic and the coffee. And I'm sorry, guys, I might have to end this a little early. We'll see.
Shots fired.
That one was a little close to home. But I'm good. No, this area is safe. I was just told that was return fire. We're okay. But yeah, no. So then we moved ahead and we got Bry to do the logo that you see now in there. But that's just it. Like, you know, they can with the company, it can evolve with you. But as long as you've got like a name that you've stuck with, and you build that name up, it doesn't really matter what you had on the logo.
Look at the Blue Jays, man. They've changed their logo probably like 20 times, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I've kept with the character for a while now, like the actual lumberjack face with the crossed axes and everything. I plan to keep him around for a while, but I did up that one just last week that I was playing around with different variations on the hat. I want to toss it on a hoodie and whatnot. I don't know if I'll necessarily rebrand entirely with that logo, but I'm using it for the time being. But I still like my little character dude that I drew up.
Yeah.
So you drew him up.
Yeah, literally, I do everything. I do my label designs, I draw my logos, I make the beard oil, I do all the social media. Like it's 100% me. Everything I've done.
Wow, man.
So you were in you're in marketing now as it is?
No, so I took 1 year of marketing at Conestoga College. Decided it wasn't really what I wanted to do. Considered switching to advertising. They let me know that I was in the program because I decided to try and switch late, like the Friday before school was going to start. And I said, never mind. And I just never went back to school. I've just worked instead. So right now I'm actually a support team lead for a real estate software company.
Whoa.
So
you're neck deep in virtual tours right now.
Well, I'm more so on the electronic signatures and all that, but I do have a buddy. So I was a manager at Hot Topic. The other manager left a week before me to work for a company that does real estate virtual tours, and then I left to work at a real estate company that does transaction management and electronic signatures. So we both left essentially the same job to go to different real estate jobs for some reason.
It's all right. It's all right, man. Hey, man, you gotta make money. Like, that's like the thing. We gotta work. We gotta make money. Nobody's gonna make it for us. We gotta get up every day and do it for us. So
that's what
put a roof
over
your head. You know,
food in your bowl. So, are you hoping at one point that this takes off, that this is gonna be your be all end all for your, or is this always gonna be like a side gig? What do you think?
If I could make it my full-time gig, I would 100% love to. Yeah. Right now I'm the sole breadwinner, I guess. Like my wife, because of the little guy, she took her mat leave and then she opted not to go back. Like she was working a 20-hour-a-week job, so it wasn't like full-time anyways.
This is video ager, Yanni McYon.
Shut up. At least I'm not getting shots fired at me, you putz.
I've still got
for my life, Aaron. You're tired. Sorry, man.
But yeah, no, not a problem. My wife has decided, like right now, not to go back to work instead of tossing my son in daycare. Like honestly, daycare is so expensive. She wasn't making enough to pay for it, so she's started writing books, and she's actually doing okay. She's like a self-published author. So she's
Whoa.
actually making okay money. So if she starts doing well enough, I'm going to tell her she's the primary breadwinner and I'm going to focus on my business. And then we're just going to do our own things and live off of that. But that's definitely
Man.
not in the immediate future.
Man, that is like awesome. That is so rad. Like to have like a plan like that. Like that's gotta feel good to kind of feel like, you know, this is what our goal is. You guys have like that's so cool. That is so cool to hear.
I got a book idea for you. So it's about a guy that is so hairy that he can't take off his shirt when he goes outside because he gets chased by the villagers with pitchforks. But
They think he's Sasquatch?
he's a nice guy, but he doesn't bathe.
Jesus Christ. You know what?
Yep, him too.
It'll be a hard sell for my wife if I'm honest. She writes
Yeah.
a reverse harem, and I don't think that would fit into the reverse harem.
What's
Theme.
that?
Reverse harem?
What's that?
It's
Like a guy that's
Smut.
lonely, can't afford women.
So it's the reverse.
no, it's so
He wants women, but he can't afford the women.
Oh crap! It must be a reverse harem again. It's like one of those like boom, 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 boom. Can't handle it.
I'm sorry, man. I'm using that in every sentence I use now.
Anyway,
Oh, it's like a reverse harem.
Hey, what is so a
Sorry.
harem? Isn't like a witch thing? Isn't that like a witch thing or something?
no. So
Oh, wait.
reverse harem actually refers to one female with multiple male mates.
Whoa! So we weren't off, but just to kind of
Isn't that called
like,
a madam?
mistress.
Pardon?
Isn't that called a madam?
No. So I guess I'll give a description of her current trilogy she's working on
Don't
to
give
kind
up
of
the
explain
secrets,
it.
bro.
Yeah, don't know.
I
Don't
wanna
tell
re-
us who killed Harry
Yeah, I
Potter.
want to see what the plot line is myself.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, the book is 7 sins and saints. So you know the 7 deadly sins.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The idea is they're the bad guys with Lilith, a demon, and then she has her main character who's like I'm gonna blank on the term, some sort of angelic being, and then she has to find 7
Archangel.
mates. Yeah, her mates are, I guess, the counters to the sins. So she has 7 men, but it's only her in this relationship.
So she has sex with the 7 sins?
The 7 saints, the demon has sex with the 7 sins.
Sex. Here's a perfect name for it. You tell her 6 in the 7 sin city.
There's no city.
Yeah, there is in this one. Nice city.
Oh my god, Ernie. Jesus H. That's rad though. Like, good for her. Like a lot
That's
of people,
pretty
people
cool.
go, "Yo, I'm a writer," and then they're like, "No, we're not making any money." Like, yeah, you're a writer, all right. Yeah, how's that going for you?
She's on this is her 3rd month. She only released her first book back in March,
What?
but she's actually doing really good. Her next book comes out at the end of the month, and like she's making almost as much as she was doing like an actual regular job.
So she.
See, and that doesn't surprise me though, right? Because you got to think, like, what are people doing right now? They're
Yeah,
putting
now's
oil
the
in their
prime
beard, and they're reading books about 7 people having sex with a woman
Yeah.
in a city,
and listening to podcasts based off of
and
last.
listening
Yes.
to the podcasts about a Sasquatch that needs loving.
And supporting local breweries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We gotta.
Yeah,
We gotta.
waiting in line for an hour for a beer that he can't have.
What are you talking about?
Well, the cops shut it down. The government said
Yeah,
no.
but I went back though. I went back.
Yeah.
I got
He
it.
worked his magic, but not everybody did.
Yeah, not everybody's
Yeah.
got an in, you know. But this flavored malt beverage is pretty tasty. Not too bad.
Is that the malt? Is that the malt water one?
Yeah, I'll let you try. I'll bring one over tomorrow. I'll let you try it.
What's it called, Jeremy? For people that aren't seeing the video right now, what is it?
Cambridge Hard Water Brewing Company is out of Cambridge. They just literally today they are giving out the 6, so it's the 6 pack for free. But it's called
Yeah, but
Cambridge Hard Water flavored malt beverage, 100% natural.
isn't it just
flavors.
like vodka soda water?
I don't know what it is. I've been just calling it malt water, which kind of
It's one
makes
of
me
those
think.
rever-
But it kind of makes
It's like
me
one of
think.
those reverse harem beers.
Yeah, but like I'm always interested to think like because people are always talking about like mead and stuff. Like the Vikings drank mead, and I'm like, well, what were they drinking? I'm like, maybe this is something like it. I don't know.
Mead is crap, I've had a couple meads, but I feel like it's a high honey content drink if I remember
Yeah?
correctly.
Yeah, I just don't know what kind of like alcohol is in this. I have no idea.
I think when I
wonder
was
if it's
reading
like
their
that
description,
butterbeer.
it's literally alcoholic water. Like it's like tonic water, but somehow boozed.
So just
Yeah.
like Grand River water.
Yeah.
It's like a, it's kind of, to be honest, now that I'm smelling it, it almost has like a kind of a moonshine kind of smell.
Okay.
Really?
Actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, it's almost like a carbonated water moonshine, like a white lightning.
Hmm.
Yeah.
My
that's
brother
actually-
got some too.
Yeah, that actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, and actually like working through it. Anyway, we're boring people with our beer analogy. We're talking about beard. Anyway,
Beer's beard, pretty close.
yeah, pretty close.
So your
We
wife's
literally didn't let her
books
off.
are really taking off. That's good, man.
That's awesome. So she
Yeah.
has like a what do they call it? Publisher and everything involved with her books.
So she's actually self-publishing all through Amazon.
Hmm.
So you can actually self-publish on Amazon, have it on Kindle Unlimited, like their ebook platform,
Mm-hmm.
and she gets paid per page turn on the app, or
Shit.
per book sale.
What's the
And,
name
like,
of the
right now?
What's the name of the book? I think my mom would read something like that.
What's the
Oh
first one?
no!
Oh, here we go.
I know the trilogy is called Seven Sins and Saints. I think the first one's Saintly Virtues.
So, but
So
the
if you
series.
get paid for every page turn, why wouldn't you just put it in really big writing so there's not a whole lot on each page?
Apparently, it formats it based off of the idea of it being a paperback. So it takes based on like a paperback font and it reduces. So if somebody is hard of sight and they have the font super large, it doesn't actually count as one page turn for every time
Oh, see,
they've turned
I was
a
gonna
page.
say double space
Yeah.
it.
Ernie,
Yeah, so like her
ripping
book,
things
her
off.
paperback is 300 and something pages. So every page or every book read is 300 and whatever pages.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Sorry, the name was Seven. The series name.
So the series
Seven
name
Saintly
is
Sins.
Seven Sins and Saints.
Shut up, Siri. I'm not talking to you.
Shut up, Terry.
But the first
Not
book
now.
is Saintly Virtues by S.A. Mackenzie.
Yes. Okay, my mom will probably be into that. All right, I'll look at that. We'll look it up. That sounds cool. Thanks, man.
No problem.
So, yeah,
Hey
so
Siri, tell Jeremy to turn his phone off.
I don't think Siri can hear you through that. That's hilarious. Oh, yeah. Well, wasn't it
Shut up.
the last podcast he was talking about music and then his Alexa started going off and started playing music or
Yep.
something? DJ Rick Webb.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be coming out. So with the beard stuff coming out, I see that you have a 500 followers you just got. Congratulations.
Yeah, took a while, but I'm pretty proud
Oh,
of
you
it.
got it. That's good, man.
And
Yeah.
what? So you're doing like a promo? You're doing like a giveaway or something?
Yeah, so I'm running a giveaway that's gonna end on Tuesday. So just a little woohoo! I hit 500 followers. Give away a beard oil, couple stickers, and a coupon code.
Mm.
And then for Father's Day, I'm running a promo code, Dad 2020 for 20% off. So I decided to, right after Mother's Day, just toss that Father's Day promo out there.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the dads.
And the beards. So it's so they
Yeah.
would put Dad 2020 as a promo for 20% off.
Yep.
And that's beard care. That's everything on the site. That's including shirts and stuff too.
Yep, that's including the shirts,
rad.
lip balm, stickers, everything.
Right.
And you have a good abundance of merch. Like you have still quite a bit of merch left.
Yeah, I've got a handful of shirts, at least of the Bearded Lumberjack shirts. I tossed my inspired clothing shirts on there too to see if I could get rid of them. But yeah, I've got a decent amount of beard oil. I've got more oil under here to keep making some, and I'm planning to place an order soon to get some more oils and everything. I just gotta convince myself not to buy more fragrances. That's my problem.
Just
I
keep it to the
make way
core.
too many fragrances. Yeah,
Keep it to the
I'm
core.
bad for that.
No, man. You just sounds like you're just like trying to just make it happen. So
What you need to do is get on the radio and make like those little sample dabbers and go say that you're going to give a free dabber to people that
Dapper.
come and you do. Yeah, little vial, like it's a
Oh
little,
yeah,
like,
the 1
little vial.
grams.
And then
Yep.
say that you come through, you pop your trunk, and I'll put the vial in your trunk. We're to shut down Galt again.
Yeah. No, Preston.
Tell them
Let's
it's
shut
not
down.
gonna handle it.
Let's shut down Preston this time. Beard care.
Yeah, we'll do it on top of the
The
hill.
construction's not doing it enough.
Nope.
Ugh,
We're gonna
God.
do it in the news section. We're gonna do it in the news section. Piss off all the new Canadians back there.
Easy. Easy.
I didn't say anything.
Keep it up above the belt there, pal.
I didn't say anything.
So, I don't know. I'm stoked to hear that there's a local beard company like making it happen, and you're earning and burning, and then you're making something of it. That's a cool thing, man. That's cool.
Are you noticing that there's a lot of like local businesses starting up? Like, have you noticed them now during Corona here? Like that you've been kind of like trying to focus maybe more on, maybe not going to the Wally Mart, maybe go to somewhere else for like a local shop for something that you needed?
Oh, me personally, yeah. Like even before, it was always big for me to support local and even just Canadian as much as I could. So there's even been a couple other local or semi-local beard care companies I've done trades with and bought some of their stuff for. But like the more I can support local businesses, like that's one of my big reasons. Like I drink a lot of scotch and whiskeys,
Me too.
but
man.
when I buy my beers, it's as much as I can. I hit up Jackass, Forefathers,
Yeah.
Wavemaker now is definitely going to go into the rotation. And wherever I can, my wife ordered me clothing from a company called K-Bod out east. But like, that's just, I don't know. It's always been a big thing for me to support Canadian, especially I guess having my own small little business. The more small businesses or medium businesses, but Canadian that I can support, I don't know, long time been something that I've been passionate about.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I know that we've talked to Always Bearded in the past. Are you familiar with that brand? So
I've come across them. Yeah.
So his basically what he does is he just gets inside stores, he gets inside barbershops, and he's able to kind of like make a deal with inside like those kinds of realms of like where beards are predominantly. Is that what kind of like your goal is in like the long term? Like get inside shops like that, so it's not just out of like your social media store.
Yeah. So I was for I don't know 6 months or so. I was in Cowboys and Angels in Waterloo.
Cool.
And again, 2020's kind of hurt me on this, but there's a little in-home salon called Pinup Beauty in Waterloo. They're planning to sell my stuff post COVID-19 pandemic. There's a shop in Brantford called Essentially Yours. I've been talking to them, looking at getting them carrying my stuff soon. So this year was on trend to do really well for me, and then the pandemic kicked in and things just kind of hit, not a halt because I decided to really try and focus more on my online.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a lot more stores and everything because that's my long-term goal as much as I can, get into those barbershops, get into those little boutique stores and things like that. And I think there's a salon in Cambridge that my one buddy keeps saying I need to go drop some samples off to. So
yeah, and
there's stuff in the works. Hopefully,
we have a close tied barbershop that's been a promoter of our podcast for a long time, and I know the owner. We can have a chat with him. We can get your stuff in there probably. Yeah.
Barber Pole, right?
Oh well, yeah.
I don't know, no names, but
Yeah.
Schmarber Schmall.
Yeah. One of the largest and most productive barber shops, and like it's huge. And Tony does such an amazing job. Shout out to Tony. We love you, bruh. I'm sure.
Yeah, sweet Lambos, bro.
Yeah, Sweet Lambo's posting down in the LA. I'm sure we could talk to him and get some stuff in there, man. That's cool.
I actually found out about him and his shop from your old KW Facial Hair Club
Yeah,
Instagram.
I went there a lot. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I was actually running his Instagram at the time. I did his.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm really good at running Instagrams. No, it's totally no. I'm not.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm a big deal. Anyway, so
Just
I
get
was
on it,
helping him kind of like get it off the ground and what to put on it, and he does it on now. I don't really get involved with it now, but yeah, Tony's a buddy of ours, goes way back, and then yeah, he's more than just a barber for Ernie and I. He's a buddy of ours, so.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you said you're drinking some scotch. What do you drink? What are you doing?
What have I got right now? Right now, I've got a bottle of Tomatin 12,
All right.
Glenlivet Founders Reserve,
Yeah.
Aberfeldy 12. I think those are my good ones. My whiskey Scotch collection, I think I'm at 17 or 18 bottles right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But those are my more expensive Scotch because I'm still overall a fairly cheap person.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah. I'm also. I love Scotch. Love a nice whiskey. Rye. Don't really do gin. I don't really like gin, but
I want to try more gin. I was talking to my buddy about that last night. I've only had Bombay.
Well, I guess there's a really good gin that comes out of Mill Street in Toronto. The Mill Street Brewery, they make a distillery there. They have a nice gin. And there's also a distillery that also does moonshine and Guelph. Isn't that right, Ernie? What is it called? Nickel or what is it? Isn't there like a brewery?
Is that Murphy's?
No.
Guelph Murphy's?
Murphy's Law is Elmira. We've had Ben on the podcast a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
Well,
The moonshine?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Willowball?
I'm talking about gin though. What's that gin company that's in Guelph?
Willowball?
Are you talking about? You're not talking about that Wellington, are you?
No. That's the brewery. Anyway, I can't think of the name now. Someone's gonna be yelling it right now while listening to the podcast. But they make a good gin supposedly, and we've been told by people to go there and try to do one of their tours. I guess I'm gonna have to look it up later and see what the name is. Sorry, guys. But there's some local brews, local gin, local everything. Like, you don't have to go far now to get like a decent meal and a decent bottle of something. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, my buddy did me a favor and hit the LCBO for me yesterday because my work schedule didn't allow for it with their new hours. Mm-hmm. But he picked up a bottle of Junction 56 vodka, and they're just out of Stratford.
No way.
I'm pretty sure it's Stratford. They're not too far from us. And they're one of the places I've got my eye on a gin from. They have a black raspberry gin. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that sounds kind of good. But that's another one.
What is that vodka made of? That's an odd question, I know.
Isn't vodka made out of potatoes? Wait, it can be made out of anything, can it?
I can double check and let you know afterwards, or I can run upstairs if you really want, but I don't know. I haven't looked.
No, it's not the end of the world. Well, I'm just asking because I used to work with a guy. He started at my place for a little bit. He actually used to work at resorts, and the one thing he said, he goes, when you go to buy a vodka, he goes, when you buy it, look for one made of grapes. He goes, it'll be the best vodka you've ever tasted. And I said, well, I don't drink vodka, so you could probably give me one made out of turnips. It would probably taste the same to me.
Yeah, I don't do vodka either.
Yeah, I don't really drink vodka either. We bought it for the weekend because my wife had a couple of vodka drinks that she wanted to try. She's not a big drinker, but I figured if I'm going to buy vodka, I might as well support a local distillery while I'm at it.
That's what's up. I can't do vodka. I had too many run-ins with those Smirnoff Ices as a young lad. Yeah, man. Way too many
you
parties.
puked a lot.
I was like, oh man, I'm gonna start drinking, and that was like what I started drinking with those Smirnoff coolers. It's like, yeah, I thought brutal.
It's like a little bucket of sugar in a bottle.
Oh, so gross. I can't even can't touch vodka. Don't go near it.
Yeah.
I do everything else except for that and gin, but I've been getting into a couple Japanese whiskeys. That's what I've been getting into.
That's on my big to try list.
Pretty awesome. They're more of a, you have to I don't know, the way that I describe them is they're a little bit drier, and you kind of have to pair them with maybe a dessert kind of thing. It's good for sipping. I also tried that Irish whiskey that Conor McGregor came out with. It's okay.
The proper 12.
It's okay,
I keep looking at it. That's why I keep hearing mixed results.
Okay.
I know one guy who really likes it.
It's not. It's nothing to write home about. It's okay to
Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, exactly. If you want to just chill out at home, have a really easy drinking whiskey that you're not worried about drinking too much of it because it's not that expensive and it's not that great, that's a good whiskey to hang out with. It's a good hangout whiskey. But if you're gonna sit down, you're gonna drink a nice Lagavulin, or if you're gonna drink something that's nice, that you're not gonna wanna. You can't compare the two. Not peatiness or anything. Yeah. It's just more of a. It's okay. The problem is it has a harsh nose, a harsh upfront nose that you can really smell the alcohol, which I'm not really too keen on. But The taste isn't too bad. You know what? I'll lend you my bottle. You can give it a try yourself. So, you know.
I don't know about that, Captain Corona.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm just saying. It's
Yeah,
it is
licking
on my
hands and
guitar,
high fiving. Won't let me in the studio, but I heard you could have a drink from my bottle.
No. Well, I'm not drinking out of it with my mouth. I just pour it in
I
a glass.
know. I know.
Jesus.
We're classy here.
You know, man, I'm just trying to spread the love. That's all. Spread the liquor.
Trying to spread something else by the sounds of it. I got something you can spread.
Gross. Oh, man. So
Yeah, here guys, battle in Bolivia sounds like it's died down. I think I'm safe now.
yeah, I think you can take off your bulletproof vest.
The fighting has ceased. The enemy rebels said that they have come up with a ceasefire agreement.
Ceasefire agreement.
Yeah.
Peace is now among us.
No one knows how long this will last, but the peace talks seem to have gotten through.
Do you think your involvement in the situation has made it better or worse?
Yeah, Jeremy, they pretty much have they've surrendered at the moment. But, peace talks only last so long. Once the government gets involved, you can only do so much with the little time that we have on this planet. But hopefully a peace resolve can come. You got to think of the children. Somebody please think of the children.
And that's our field agent journalist, Ernie, from the PM&A podcast. Oh, my God.
Yeah, this is signing off from Bolivia. You hug your kids, hug your family.
How'd your husband, too?
Hug your kids. They're coming.
So you grew up in this area, and you went to school in this area. So you've noticed, like, since we were just talking about all the increases and stuff in local businesses, why do you think what's changed now in comparison to like 10 years ago? Why do you think things are like booming, small businesses and breweries and stuff like that? Why is that happening here, do you think?
I think, like, especially looking Kitchener and Waterloo, and obviously Cambridge technically falls into that same umbrella, whether Kitchener and Waterloo likes to admit it. But I definitely think, like, it's so multicultural here, and it's especially Kitchener, such a huge technology hub, so it draws so many people in. You had people of different places, faces, so everybody's bringing their own styles in, and everybody's able to kind of express their own creativity. Like, I've noticed, admittedly, I have exclusively lived in the Waterloo region.
Me too.
But, like, it's such a creative place in a way. Like, I feel like it definitely endorses creativity is very promoted in the region, right? Like, there's all sorts of different, festivals and everything, and music. I mean, it's gone through its ups and downs here, but I know when I was in high school, like, concerts were everywhere. There's a great local, especially metal scene, which was my music taste. There's a great local metal scene, and like other things too. Like, there's the small businesses that are selling like physical things, but then there's quite a few small businesses that are selling entertainment that are doing well. Like, I'm pretty good buddies with a guy who runs Have Hope. I'm gonna feel bad, but
Have Hope.
He does like all the local.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Have Hope. Yeah, we've done some ads for him before. Downtown Waterloo, out of not Mel's Diner. He runs it out of that little diner.
Harmony Lunch.
Harmony Lunch. Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I've talked to him before.
Yeah. So like, his dad does all my labels, all my
man.
beard oil labels.
Small world.
And it's actually his wife whose hair salon I'm planning to get into after COVID. So like him and his music, or I have a buddy who has a wrestling promotion in Kitchener.
PWA?
And like it's no, I used to go to PWA a lot as a kid. Crossbody.
Okay.
Don't talk to
PWA.
Tex. He's a jerk.
Yeah, Tex Lexus has been on the show, man. I don't know if you know who that guy is.
They hate him here in Bolivia, just so you know. They talked about him.
Ernie, turn on your light for the recording, just so people can see your faces for the last, like...
Nah, I like to be the black cloud.
We're up in the power's out down here in Bolivia.
Yeah, that's part of the ceasefire, that nobody gets power.
We're living under candlelight right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry. So you're saying that the father and the wife are
like he does your stickers, and then she's gonna put you into her salon. You were saying from Kyle's wife.
So Pin It Up Beauty is his wife's business or little in-home salon in Waterloo, and that's one of the places I'm planning to get into after this. So just these all these local businesses, they support each other too, which is great. Like even when you guys had Wavemaker on talking about how they have good relationships with places like Jackass Brewing and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessarily a competitive nature.
Yeah.
It's very supportive of each other. So it's not cutthroat here. Like I don't know if you guys have ever come across Waterloo Main's Beard.
Nope.
But they're another beard care company just based out of Waterloo. I'm not super close with them, but I've met up with them a couple times. We've done some trades. Like we bounce ideas off each other every once in a while. Like there's not that against each other feeling. It's very much so a togetherness, right? And
Yeah,
I feel that.
I think I saw him at a mini market over at I think it was Smile Tiger. It was at the Roaster Cafe.
Yes.
I think I saw
Yes, I
him
remember.
there. I think I saw him there. Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. So man, where can people find your stuff? Where can people get a hold of you?
So get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook's just the Bearded Lumberjack. Instagram is at the Bearded Lumberjack. And then I finally have a legitimate website, just thebeardedlumberjack.com. Keep it all very concise across the board, nice and easy to find.
Cool.
And even if people aren't looking to necessarily buy, but they have beard care questions, like I can talk beards far longer than any person should talk beards. So reach out, ask your questions. I'll give you tips and advice on growing your beard, on taking proper care of it. It's not about just taking care of the beard. Take care of the skin on your face, moisturize, things like that.
Yeah.
Got tips like crazy.
Yeah, man, that's a good resource to have because people hit me up with a lot of questions about beards just because they know I'm involved in beards and what should people buy, where should they buy it, because it's kind of like a niche kind of market, but when you need it is when you need it. Yeah, for sure.
I have so when you're making it, my big question is always, how do you know what to put in it so you avoid the whole thing where whenever I buy any oil or anything like that from any company, I always do the little test. So you take a dab, put it on, let it sit for a minute, just so you know that you're not dealing with something that's going to give you break your face out completely. Like, how do you know that when you put out a bottle that everybody that buys it pretty much isn't going to have that issue?
Well, I always say you can never guarantee it because there's always allergies and everything like that. Like I'm not making anybody promises. But my big thing is even with the oils and everything that I buy from Canadian companies. Like I'm supporting companies of Tilsonburg, Woodstock, London. So I know the base products I'm using are safe. They're properly handled. They're up to Canadian health standards and things like that. I'm not cheaping out and just ordering from the cheapest place I can find. I'm making sure to
you're not throwing bat soup Canadian in there or anything.
Yeah, exactly. But and then the other thing, my oils, some of them are fragrance oils and they're skin safe fragrance oils, but some people just won't react to it. Same with essential oils though. Some people just don't react well to it. So I'm never going to say, everything's good for everybody. There are some things I use that have some nuts and everything. So they're not good for people with peanut allergies and whatnot. But I know the carrier oils that I'm using are quality carrier oils. And that's the big thing for your beard oil, right? Because your fragrance and your essential oils, well, not so much fragrance, but your essential oils, they have benefits for the hair and the skin, but it's the carrier oils that are really taking care of everything, and those are more so for fragrance.
So speaking of fragrance, this is going to be my last suggestion, I promise. But I got a perfect label, and it's going to sell out as soon as you put it on the shelf. Okay. Now, do you have a citrusy kind of one?
I've messed around with some, but I don't have any that I've ever set my souls on.
Perfect. So you got to go Bud Light and go lime. And then you call it the Corona Cure Citrus.
Oh, God.
Yep.
I wonder if there's any legality with that. I don't know if you can patent Corona, because Corona's a patent name.
I'd be jumping all over that.
You could rhyme something
Closest I had was vanilla. lime.
pheromone, coronamone. I don't know.
No, that's wrong.
I'm not a marketing whiz.
Reverse harem moan.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, that goes a little too well. I don't know if we can do that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
no.
Well, geez, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking with us. We'd love to have you back on, man.
Yeah.
Once the Corona kind of comes out, we'd love to hear how things are going, and we'll just appreciate you chatting with us today, and stay safe. Good luck with everything
been a
you're
lot
doing,
of
man, and
Yeah, from everybody out here in Bolivia, we just wanted to say, keep it safe, keep it real, and just, keep it in the chamber.
all right. Thanks a lot, Jacob.
Thanks, guys.